കഴിഞ്ഞ ദിവസം നമ്മൾ നിർത്തിയെടുത്തുനിന്ന് നമ്മൾ വീണ്ടും തുടങ്ങാം. അതിൻ്റെ അടുത്ത ഭാഗമായിട്ട് അതിനേക്കാൾ അതുപോലെ തന്നെ നല്ല ഇൻട്രസ്റ്റിംഗ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള ചില കളക്ഷൻസ് ആണ് ഇവിടെ ഉള്ളത്. അതെന്തൊക്കെയാണെന്ന് നമുക്ക് എക്സ്പ്ലെയിൻ ചെയ്തു തരാൻ ഇവിടെ പേരെന്താണ്?
ജാഗ്രതി
പ്രിയേഷ് സാറുണ്ട്. അവർ പറഞ്ഞുതരും ബാക്കി ഡീറ്റെയിൽ ആയിട്ടുള്ള ഭാഗങ്ങൾ. നമുക്ക് അവരോട് തന്നെ ചോദിച്ച് മനസ്സിലാക്കാം.
ജിയോഗ്രഫിക്കൽ ഇൻഡിക്കേഷൻസ് ആണ്, അതായത് നമ്മുടെ ഭൂമിശാസ്ത്രപരമായി ഓരോരോ സ്റ്റേറ്റിൻ്റെതും ഓരോരോ ഇമ്പോർട്ടൻ്റ് സ്ഥലങ്ങളും കവർ ചെയ്തും കൊണ്ടാണ് ഈ പ്രൊഡക്റ്റുകളെ കുറിച്ചുള്ള വിവരണങ്ങൾ ഉള്ളത്. ഇതിന് നമ്മളുടെ ഫിലാറ്റലിക്കിനോട് കൂടെ ബന്ധപ്പെട്ട് GI എക്സിബിറ്റിനെ നമ്മളൊന്ന് ലിങ്ക് ചെയ്തുകൊണ്ടാണ് ഒരു ചെറിയൊരു സംരംഭം തുടങ്ങിയിരിക്കുന്നത്. അതിൻ്റെത് കൂടുതലും നോളജിന് വേണ്ടി ഞാനിത് ജാഗ്രതയെ ഏൽപ്പിക്കുകയാണ്. ഇത് ഓരോരോ ഐറ്റമായിട്ട് എക്സ്പ്ലെയിൻ ചെയ്തു തരാൻ വേണ്ടിയിട്ട്. ഓക്കെ, അതാണ് നല്ലത്. ജാഗ്രതി ഈ ഫസ്റ്റ് പേജ് മുതൽ തന്നെ തുടങ്ങുന്നത് ഓരോരോ സ്റ്റേറ്റ് വൈസാണ്. ഇന്ത്യയിലുള്ള ഒരു ജിയോഗ്രഫിക്കൽ ടൂർ നടത്താൻ വേണ്ടി തന്നെയാണ് സ്റ്റേറ്റ് വൈസ് ആൽഫബറ്റിക്കൽ വൈസ് ആന്ധ്രാപ്രദേശിൽ തുടങ്ങി വെസ്റ്റ് ബംഗാളിലേക്ക് അവസാനിക്കുന്ന വിധത്തിൽ നമ്മളിതിനെ കൊണ്ടുപോവുകയാണ്. ജാഗ്രതി ക്യാൻ കണ്ടിന്യൂ ദിസ്.
Hi everyone, I'm Jagriti Nitinadka. So I'm from Bangalore. So what is GI? So basically GI was started as a universal indication of tags, and the headquarters is in Madras or Chennai. So in India also gives GI indication to places like France and Italy or any other countries as well. So here we have covered only of India. So in 1999 an act was passed on the geographical indications known as the Geographical Indication Act. So if we start, we are going to start like from the anatomy of the GI covers. So the anatomy of the GI covers, when you see a GI cover, you will find the GI logo in the front with the name of geographical indication, as well as in Hindi also it will be written. Next, moving on to okay, so starting with Andhra Pradesh, the Kondampalli Bommalu. So they are the toys made of wood, and they are hand carved with other materials, and they are painted with natural dyes. For example, like for red color they use roses, and for green color they use the leaf. So like that they have using natural dyes and soft wood. The craftsmen have made the Kondampalli Bommalu. Then comes the Machilipatnam Kalamkari. So Machilipatnam Kalamkari is a 3,000-year-old handicraft. So it's a painting type, and it's mostly seen on cave paintings and canvases, frescoes especially, and they are also made of natural dye. So here I have 3 more covers on Machilipatnam Kalamkari. So basically this is the Sitarama Kalyana painting. This is the Geeta Upadesham painting on one of the caves present in Andhra Pradesh. So they are also made of they are very detailed artwork of natural dyes. And here another I have which showcases in miniature paintings. The Machilipatnam Kalamkari is in miniature paintings on Mahabharata and Ramayana. So this is about Machilipatnam Kalamkari. So next very important GI tag is the Udayagiri wooden cutlery. So basically here these are the wooden cutleries made with intricate and detailed designing. Like they carve it in such a way that you can see the other side, like the entire part is carved and you have beautiful geometric shape, and they are motif inspired, like the ones which are found in monuments like Taj Mahal and etc. So they also make like cutlery sets like knife, forks, spoons and etc. So this is one of the main geographical indication product of Udayagiri from Andhra Pradesh. Moving on to Assam, so there's one speciality in Assam which is known as the Chakwa rice. So this is also known as the magic rice because unlike other rice brands or rice species, you don't need to cook or boil it to consume it. You just need to add the rice, the raw rice, into room temperature water, and after 7 to 8 minutes, max to max 10 minutes, the rice is edible and ready to consume. So this is a chakwa rice. So this is the chakwa rice from Assam. So this is known as the magic rice because unlike other rice species, you don't need to boil or cook it to consume it, but just adding it into room temperature water will for 7 to 8 minutes, max to max 10 minutes, will make it edible. So this is about the chakwa rice from Assam. So here coming to again Assam, we have something called as Muga silk of Assam. So this one product has two separate geographical indication tag and two separate certifications. One is the logo. So the registered logo has a separate geographical indication tag, and the product, which is the Muga silk of Assam, that also has a separate indication tag. So these two are the different geographical indication tags of Assam under one product, that is the Muga silk of Assam. So next we are coming to Chhattisgarh, where Madhubani artwork is quite famous. So they are also fresco paintings, and they depict mythological themes, rituals, and scenes from everyday life. The art is characterized by its use of geometric patterns, bold lines, and vivid colors, which are natural dyes. And they are even the frescoes. Even these frescoes are derived from natural lime water. So this is all about the Madhubani paintings of Chhattisgarh. Coming to Chhattisgarh itself, we have the Buster Handicrafts, Buster Iron Crafts. So basically this shows a relation between the Harappans and the present day civilization, the Indian civilization, what we are right now in 2024. So like even though the iron crafts started in the Harappan civilization or the Indus Valley civilization, there is prominent effect even till date through the Buster iron crafts from Chhattisgarh. So this is also a GI tag indication, and once you see the designs, you find a lot of similarities between it and the iron crafts or the bronze statues and sculptures of the Indus Valley. Next coming to Goa. So Goa, the main attraction is the cashew feni. So many breweries they do make cashew feni, but the natural one through the traditional and authentic method is only done in Goa, which includes smashing the cashew fruits by feet, and then fermenting it in pots, the earthen pots, and it takes like 1 to 2 years until it's fermented, and then only they produce it. So cashew feni is one of the most famous ones here. So next we have from Gujarat, the textiles. So Gujarat is basically famous only for its textiles. So here I have the Kutch embroidery and the Jamnagari Bandhani. So they all come under the Garvi Gujarati, which is a official emporium of Gujarat state. So they both these embroideries are under GI tag regulation. Next coming to Haryana. So Haryana and Punjab, they both share the same GI tag indication, which is the basmati rice and the fulkari. So Haryana and Punjab, they both share the same state capital as well. So due to that, fulkari and Haryana basmati rice, there it is the Punjab's basmati rice, both are GI tags in its own way. So next coming to Himachal Pradesh, we have the Chamba Rumal and the Kinnauri shawl. So Chamba Rumal was basically used by royalty, and it's a finely embroidered handkerchief or any square piece of cloth from Chamba district of Himachal Pradesh. So they depict mythological stories, mythological creatures, scenes, and floral patterns, geometric designs, and etc. So this is basically used for gifting. Nowadays it's used for gifting, but at those times it was used by the royalties. Next, coming to Kinnauri shawl. So Kinnauri shawl is from the Kinnaur district of Himachal Pradesh, and it's hand woven woolen shawls. So these basically they have various cultural exchanges, because the influence of Nepal and Tibet and our local traditions of Himachal Pradesh all mixed together. The Kinnauri shawl became a new formed craft of weaving. So this is about two of the main geographical products of Himachal Pradesh. So next, coming to Himachali Chuli oil. So these are actually also known as the apricot kernel oil. So these oils are extracted by the seeds of apricots. So it's a special variety because the Chuli oil plant it thrives in harsh and high altitude environments of the Himalayas. So since the apricots are highly found in the foothills of Himalaya, and it can adjust to the harsh conditions of the Himalayas, these oil seeds are more prominent in these regions. Come to Jammu and Kashmir. So basically we have two major and most famous geographical indications. One is the Kani shawl and the Kashmiri Pashmina. So the Kani shawls are hand woven traditional shawls which is intricately crafted using the Kani weaving technique. So the weaving involves small eyeless bobbins, like the stitches or the embroidery is so minute that it feels like it's one piece of cloth woven together, but once the cloth is actually woven, on that they do the embroidery. So that is about Kani shawls. And Kashmir Pashmina. So this is a wool which is derived from the Pashmina sheeps present in Kashmir. So it is very expensive, and they also have the traditions of Tibet, which is inculcated in making these Kashmir Pashmina shawls. So that's about the two famous GI tags of Kashmir. So Sorai cover paintings are traditional tribal art forms from the state of Jharkhand in India. Particularly, they are practiced by the indigenous communities, that is the Khowar, what we call for the women tribes of Jharkhand, and for the men it's known as Sorai. So these paintings are created on the walls of houses or on paper or canvas using again natural dyes and colors, which is available from local materials like clay, charcoal and plants. So they are also they are used by flowers, and even some oils are also used, like the kusum oil, which is extracted by the kusum tree, which is found in Jharkhand. So this is about the Sorai cover painting. So coming to Karnataka has three variety of coffees. That is the Coorg Arabica coffee, the Chikmagalur Arabica coffee, and the Baba Budungiri Arabica coffee. So depending on the taste and the strong chicory which is added with the coffee, they are divided into separate coffee plants. And Karnataka is one of the leading producers of coffee in India, and that makes India one of the leading producers of coffee around the world as well. So they are usually found on the hilly terrain regions of volcanic soil, which creates the perfect conditions for cultivating Arabica coffee. The moderate temperatures and the ample rainfall which is present in Karnataka contribute to the coffee beans' rich flavor profile. So coffee cultivation in Coorg is deeply rooted in traditions, while in Chikmagalur you can say that due to the safeguard of the hilly regions, the guarding of hilly regions. It is richly flourished and fully bodied. It has a fully bodied flavor, and it has a smooth and mellow finish compared to other coffee beans. Coming to Baba Budangiri Arabica coffee, it is worldwide recognized, and it has a very aromatic fragrance and smooth texture compared to other coffees. And basically, the Baba Budangiri Arabica coffee is one of the strongest flavored coffees present among all the coffee varieties present in Karnataka. So this is about the coffee varieties of Karnataka, and all three have a separate GI tag. These three.
These two.
These three.
These three.
1, 2, 3. Here.
You have to point that one.
Okay. Coming to the jasmine varieties in Karnataka, so Mysore Mallige, basically they are in a budded form, which is this. They'll be in a budded form, and they are garland together in a budded form itself. Next is the Shankarapura Mallige, which is found in Dakshina Kannada and Udupi districts of Karnataka. These are needle-like, and usually the rates of the selling rates in market for Shankarapura Mallige is similar to that of gold rate. Like, it increases one day and it decreases one day depending on the market value. So each day it has a different rate. So that is one of the rarity and uniqueness of Shankarapura Mallige. Next coming is the Hadagalli jasmine. So this basically has a very strong aroma, and it has a high cultural significance. It is grown in the Hadagalli region of Karnataka, and the jasmine flowers are prized for their fragrance and symbolic value among the local customs. So these are very the size of these flowers range from small to medium size and has a milky white color. So next coming to the worldwide famous Mysore sandal products. So Mysore sandal products are usually dealt by the Wadiyar dynasty of Karnataka. So the Wadiyars, they take care of the Mysore products, whether it's the Mysore sandal products or the Mysore silk products. Both are handled by them. Although the raw materials are taken from Mysore, the manufacturing and production and distribution house, everything is present in Bangalore or Bengaluru. So the Mysore agarbatti is one variety, then the Mysore sandal oil is one variety, and the Mysore sandal soap is one variety, which is all manufactured in the in the sandal factory present in Bangalore. So coming to Kerala, Wayanad Gandakalasha rice. So it's grown in the hilly terrain of Wayanad district and is known for its short grains and unique aroma. This rice variety is prized for its nutritional value and is compatible with various culinary preparations. So the GI tag of this ensures that the traditional farming practices which are associated with the Wayanad Gandakalasa rice is protected, thus it gets its GI tag. And this rice is a fragrant and it has a distinct aroma compared to the other rices. So this is the Wayanad Gandakalasa rice. And coming to Wayanad Jeera Kalasa rice, this rice is a popular choice for making Malabar style biryani, which is known for its light and fluffy texture. And in 2010, this has received the GI tag. The reason the GI tag was given is to protect the traditional cultivating traditions of cultivating this type and variety of rice. Next comes the Navara rice. So here it is a unique and ancient rice variety, and it's valued for its medicinal properties. So it's used in many of the Ayurvedic treatments, and it boosts the immunity and improves digestion. So in 2007, the Navara rice has got its GI tag. So now coming to Ladakh, which is a union territory presently. So this is one of the first union territories to get a GI tag, and in Ladakh it's the sea buckthorn. So the sea buckthorn is a berry which is renowned for its exceptional nutritional values. So it has very high levels of vitamins, antioxidants, and essential fatty acids like omega 3 and omega 6. They are rich in vitamin C, and they are making them very valuable in daily diet. So since it has like most of the essential nutrients present in it, most of the Ladakhians, they prefer to eat this on a daily basis as it keeps up their immunity as well. So in 2020, the Ladakh sea buckthorn has got its GI tag. So coming to Madhya Pradesh, we have the Gond painting. So this painting is a tribal art form practiced by the Gond community in Madhya Pradesh. It's known for its vibrant colors and intricate patterns depicting the flora, fauna, and the tribal life of the Gond people. So this art form has gained international recognition for its unique style of storytelling and adaptabilities. This has received a GI tag currently, and it's worldwide recognized, and many of the art exhibitions now Gond paintings are available. So coming to Manipur, we have the Wankai Fi. So Wankai Fi is a traditional hand-woven shawl from Manipur, and it's known for its intricate designs and lightweight texture. So made from indigenous mulberry silk, the Wankai Fi are characterized by their fine weaving and traditional motifs that reflect the cultural heritage of Manipur. The GI tag ensures that the Wankai Fi products are authenticated and are produced using traditional techniques only by skilled artisans in Wankai and the surrounding areas. Next, we have the Moirang Fi. So, Moirang Fi is another traditional handwoven shawl from Manipur, and it is distinguished by its fine silk fabric and elaborate designs. So, they might have simple designs, but then when you see as a whole, this fabric is having very intricate borders. So they are usually Manipuri attire, which is often worn during festivals, weddings, and other significant occasions. And they are also used. Their handlooms are made in traditional style, and they use natural dyes for preserving age-old techniques of art. Mandarins basically, we usually say that it belongs to the eastern side, like Japan and etc. Those countries. But then in India, we have the Kasi Mandarin from Meghalaya, which is well known. So the Kasi Mandarin is a variety of mandarin oranges grown primarily in the Khasi Hills region of Meghalaya, and it's known for its sweet and tangy flavor, and is enjoyed freshly, or it is used in juices, salads, and culinary preparations. So it is usually found in only cool temperatures and well-drained soils, and it is rich in vitamin C, antioxidants, and dietary fibers. Next is the Memang Narang. So the Memang Narang are oranges which is grown, which is similar to the Kasi mandarins. So it has high nutritional benefits, and it has a very refreshing taste. The GI tag is awarded to it as it guarantees the origin and quality of the Memang Narang, and ensuring that the fruit is labeled in a specific way, and it does not have like most of the Mosambis what you find will be confused with Memang Narang, but the taste and the nutritional value makes it distinguishable from other variety of oranges or Mosambis. So these fruits, like other citrus fruits, it is rich in vitamin C and other essential nutrients. It offers high health benefits, including improved immunity and enhanced skin health and digestive support. Start? So we have the Kembo hat, and the Kembo hat is a traditional bamboo hat which is worn by a specific tribe called as the Tangkhul Naga tribe, which is found in Manipur. And it has a iconic symbol of their cultural identity and is intricately woven from the bamboo strips. So this is about the Kembo and the Mizo chili. So these are known as one of the spiciest chili, although their size varies from very small to small. They are usually they are cultivated in the terrains of Mizoram. So this is all about the Mizo chili and the Kembo. So now we have the from Nagaland, the Chakshenga shawl. So this is a traditional shawl which is woven by the Chakshenga Naga tribe, primarily in Nagaland. So the white color, which is known as the Rura, is worn by women, and the Rira is worn by the men. So this is typically made from local sourced materials such as cotton or wool, and the Chakshenga shawls are known for their vibrant colors and geometric motifs. So this is about the Chakshenga shawl. The Naga back baskets. So basically, they are the Naga bamboo back baskets, which is used by tea cultivators and tea pluckers in Nagaland. So this is also one of the main geographical indications of Nagaland. Coming to Odisha's Patachitra, these are traditional form of arts from Odisha, and it's especially done on cloth or on scrolls or on pata or on walls. So pata means scroll, so that is why it's known as Patachitra. It's two words, that is pata means canvas and chitra meaning picture. So it dates back to the 5th century BCE, or there are some mythological evidences that Patachitra was started during Sri Krishna's time, that is the Dwapar Yuga. So this is about the Patachitra. So coming to Rajasthan, we have the blue pottery of Jaipur. So blue pottery of Jaipur is a distinctive craft known for its vibrant blue gaze and intricate designs. So it is made of multani mitti, glass, then quartz stone powder, gum and water, and it's made of, it's not basically ceramic, but they use these products to combine and make the strength of it, and upon that they use blue color paint which is naturally derived, and then the blue pottery of Jaipur is made. So Sikkim, we have two products, the large cardamom from Sikkim and the Kai product. So the large cardamom, it is cultivated in the cool and moist climate of the Sikkim Himalayas, that is a foothill of Sikkim, and these spices are renowned for its distinct aroma and flavor profile. So Sikkim's climatic conditions impact the special characteristics to this cardamom, making it prized in culinary and medical uses globally. Next, coming to Kai. So Kai is basically a traditional stringed instrument of the Limbu tribe, which is indigenous to the eastern Himalayan region, including Sikkim and parts of West Bengal. These instruments is integral to the cultural and musical heritage of the Limbu tribe, and reflects their rich traditions and artistic expressions. So these two are one of the major GI tags and the only GI tags of Sikkim. The Kanchivaram silk from Tamil Nadu. So it is worldwide renowned for its rich texture and intricate weaving designs, and it holds a prestigious geographical indication as well. So Kanchivaram is basically known as the silk city, and the history of Kanchivaram silk can be traced back to the reign of the Pallavas dynasty in the 6th century, but in the Chola dynasty it gained a lot of prominence. So this is the Kanchivaram silk, the local traditions are creating the icon of textile industry in India.